Hey guys, my name is Lilly and today I want to make a video that I waited to make a long time. So as you guys know, a couple of years back I've made a video that I have strange health problems, and I had chronic fatigue syndrome for years, and for years I tried to find out why and how I can solve the problem. And so finally I have solved my health issue, and finally I don't have chronic fatigue anymore. So today I thought I want to make a video about it and share my personal story of fighting this disease. Also, I need to say that I'm not a medical doctor, of course, and this is not medical advice, but I want to share my personal success story, and maybe other chronic fatigue patients have the same problem as me, and maybe it helps somebody else solve their problem, because it was really not so easy to figure out. A couple of years ago it started that I suddenly got really tired, and I didn't understand why I was so extremely tired. So how did this all start? A couple of years ago I noticed that I'm very tired very often after eating, and this started before 2020. So then with 2020 and with all the spike protein, my digestion became even worse, and I noticed that I'm really tired after eating, so tired that I had to lie down 1 or 2 hours on the couch, and yeah, I was very fatigued. So, and then my condition started to decline even more, and then I was so tired, so after eating like one meal I had to lie down like 8 hours, and I felt really terrible. I felt like being poisoned, and it didn't get any better. And I went to the doctor and checked my blood, but there was nothing in the blood. So yeah, I just stayed in this condition, and then it was so bad that I said, hey, I cannot do this anymore. So yeah, my condition worsened, and sometimes on some days I could not even go outside. I could not walk the dog. When I was forcing myself to walk the dog, although I was so tired, then I would pay dearly for it in the next coming days. I would sit 3 days on a couch like this, just laying around, 5 days, 7 days. So I had very little energy. The only thing that I could do was make videos in the car, and this was already straining. So yeah, it's really not fun to be a chronic fatigue patient. So then I found out that it's the food that's making me really fatigued. And then I tried, first I thought maybe I cannot eat rice. Okay, then I left out the rice. Then I went for noodles, gluten-free noodles, but they also made me tired. Then I tried different kinds of breads, but I was still tired. Then I went to exotic starches, but I still felt tired. So it needed like 1 year for me to start realizing that actually it doesn't really matter what kind of starches I eat. It's always the same. So it's not the food per se, but it's the starches inside. And also if I eat too much sugar, it's also really bad and making me fatigued. Also, I had this condition already when I went on Naked and Afraid, this survival show on Discovery Channel. If you want to support my channel, the best way to do so is to buy a Odenwolf knife. Odenwolf is a really awesome company. They make high quality knives like this one here for a really good price. And this one happens to be a Scandinavian camping knife. And I really like this knife. I always have it in my car, and if you check out their website you will find many other great knife models, and with my discount code Lilly10 you will get a 10% discount. So if you want to support my channel, make sure that you check out the affiliate link in the description below. And before the show I already felt really bad, but it was not that bad, so it was just a little bit fatigued. And in the show, when I was not eating any carbs for 3 weeks, we were on a full ketogenic diet for 3 weeks. There I would feel much better, and also after the show for 6, 7, 8 weeks I felt better, and then I felt tired again. So the ketogenic diet helped me. And then I found out the reason what, for me personally, the chronic fatigue syndrome caused. And I sent in my stool to a private company. This was a really expensive test. And here you can see they have analyzed my stool. And here you can see one arrow pointing upwards. And it's saying that I have Candida albicans. So this is, for me, this was the reason why I have chronic fatigue syndrome. It gives you this table here. Candida albicans, it's all the way to the side, so it's maximum value. And this is the reason why when you eat sugar or starches, especially starches, then you feel really tired. The problem was that I got this from the lab, but unfortunately my doctor didn't treat it aggressively, so he only gave me an antifungal, which is not very potent, and this did not do anything to the fungi. Also, we were not really sure if this is really the cause of my chronic fatigue syndrome, because we also checked other illnesses. First they thought I had diabetes and maybe other causes. We checked the pancreas and everything, but everything was fine. So at the end it was this, but it was not treated correctly, because for this you have to take a very aggressive antifungal, which is called fluconazole. And I didn't get this medication, unfortunately, back then. So I suffered 2 more years, and every year I did this test again, and it said Candida, Candida. And meanwhile, to ease my symptoms, I had to adjust my diet. So in the end, what was helping with the Candida was I was doing the paleo diet without any starches, without any grains, without any bread, nothing. I did fruits, and that was fine to a certain amount. Candida can live on fruits, but if you only eat a little bit of fruit, and if you stay in the low carb region, then you only get a little bit fatigued, and you can still move on with your life and you can work. But if you eat starches, even small amounts, I remember that I could not even eat bananas, because there is starches in bananas, right? So I had to cut out all of the starches, and I only ate strawberries, you know, apples, but not too much. When I was eating too much of fruit, I felt fatigued again because of the Candida. So then it became clear that I had this Candida infection, and it was still not treated enough, because the strong antifungal is heavily regulated, and it's also quite toxic to the body. So medical doctors don't give it out easily. They don't want to give it out because, yeah, it also can cause liver damage. And then, after 2 years of living like this, then I really had to take fluconazole. I had to take 2 times fluconazole, 200 milligrams per week. And I had to take this for 6 months. And in the first 2 months, it didn't help at all. So I was sad about it. I thought, why is it not helping? Well, it turns out that Candida is really stubborn, and it takes a long time to get rid of this infection. So what I did then was I had to combine fluconazole with the ketogenic diet. After 1 week I felt, oh my God, now it's helping. Now the medication is helping. I had to do that 3 times. So I was doing ketogenic diet for 1 week, including the fluconazole, for 6 months. Then I was feeling better, but then I felt worse again. So then I had to do the keto diet for 1 more week again. I felt better, but then I felt worse. And then I had to do it another time for 1 week. And then finally I felt really better, and now I'm feeling really good. Now I have to take fluconazole only every fortnight, every 14 days. And now I'm feeling good. The first time in years that I'm feeling like my old self again, right? I can go long walks, I go to the gym, I can go on the archery range, and then still do something, working in the veggie garden or something. So I can do everything again just like before this infection. But yeah, unfortunately, it took me years to figure this out. And if you don't have a lactose intolerance, a glucose intolerance, a fructose intolerance, I tested for all of those things. But if you're still reacting so much with fatigue on starches and sugars, then you really need to check Candida. So yeah, it's pretty clear, right? Obvious, Candida. Unfortunately, it needed such a long time to figure out. So I had this like over 3 years now. Yeah, now it's 2026 and this was 2023. But it was going on since 2022. So yeah, it took me like 3.5 years to figure this out. But now I feel great, and it's amazing what the human body can go through and how you can heal again. But of course you need the right doctor for it. And sometimes you need really aggressive medication. Or if you can go on a prolonged ketogenic diet. But my problem is I cannot still do it for a long time. I still cannot do it for more than 1 week because I feel really weak around this area here. And so for me, it's not a diet that I can do for a long time, but for a short time, for 1 week I can do it. And every time I feel not so good, so maybe every 2 months I do the ketogenic diet for a week, and then I feel fantastic afterwards. So for me, this was my personal reason why I had chronic fatigue syndrome. Maybe this video helps other people with the same syndrome, because this is really not a joke, and a lot of people are suffering dearly, and a lot of doctors, they don't seem to make the connection with Candida. And I hope that this is helping a lot of other people too. And maybe there are other reasons for chronic fatigue syndromes, but this was it for me. And now I can't believe that I have my life back. So it's really great to be healthy. Yeah? I think being healthy is the best and most important thing, more important than money or anything else. So I'm really happy that I finally figured this out, but I had to go through a lot of suffering. So yeah, it has taken maybe a little bit too long. So I wish that somebody could solve my problem earlier, but finally it got solved. And now I'm happy that I'm back again with 41 years old now. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you will learn when you get older, especially through suffering. I also had Hashimoto's disease, a thyroid disorder, which I don't have anymore because I just figured out that with Hashimoto's you cannot eat gluten and milk, dairy products, and now I'm healthy again. So I think a lot of health issues can be solved with just the right diet. So now my diet is still paleo, but sometimes I eat rice, and I don't do that too often, so I don't overdo it with the starches. But sometimes I just want to have a little bit of rice, sushi or something, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, but not more than this. A couple of weeks ago I tried eating potatoes and rice in huge amounts, and then I felt tired again. So you cannot do that if you have Candida. So actually for me it was an easy fix, but unfortunately because of a lot of distractions it took a long time to figure out. But still, yeah, I hope that this video helps somebody who is watching. So if you have this chronic fatigue syndrome, then don't give up, and there's always a solution, and the body can heal itself. And if you take away the stressor, in a couple of weeks you will be just as you were before the sickness. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. This was my story. Let me know if you have CFS. Let me know your symptoms in the comment section below, and let me know if there's something that worked for you. Also, if you try this and if you go on the ketogenic diet, let me know in the comment section if it helped you, or maybe also let me know if you do a stool sample test, if you also got the same results, because I think that would be very interesting. And if you have CFS, the first thing that I would do is go to your doctor and say you want to get your stool sample checked for Candida albicans. This is what I would do if I had CFS. Okay, again, this is not a medical advice. This is just my personal story. Thank you guys for watching and stay tuned till next time.